What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. On this video, I'm going to be changing out the headlights on the truck because they have finally taken a crap on me and I need to have headlights to pass inspection. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys what I have, and then I'll get right into the updates on the truck. Have it, folks. Those are the new HIDs I'm going to be installing on the truck. So let me give you guys a little rundown of what I found on the truck so far. The code for the gear 4 ratio incorrect, that's a module that's inside the transmission of this truck. I've already gone and purchased the module itself. I'm not going to install it myself because I don't know enough about transmissions. So, and this is a good transmission. I don't want to go and screw it up, so I'm going to let a professional do it. But hopefully they'll let me actually record what they're going to do and whatnot. But that's on the back burner for right now. Eventually I'm going to have to replace the U-joints on the truck because when I get up to about maybe 60 miles an hour, more like 70 really, I get a slight vibe, real slight vibe in the floorboard whenever I decelerate. So it's about time to change those U-joints. You're probably wondering why in the world is a truck up on a lift or a jack stand over here. All right. Well, lately I've been whenever I come to a dead stop and then I start to accelerate again, I'll hear a slight pop come from underneath the floorboard. And what that is well, the pop that you can see is actually, where's it at? Right here. It is the upper control arm's upper ball joint, okay? And they're bad on both sides. So let me see if I can show you guys under here. Yeah, right there. You see the boot? It's all ripped. Well, that shiny part that's inside there, that is a ball joint. You can't have that visible. Not cool. Also, while I was driving down the road, I noticed that my steering wheel, let me show you, just cruising down the road, it would do this, back and forth. You know, and not like this, you know, it's not really bad, but it was just enough to pull back and forth, and that tells me that something up front is loose and it's making the front wiggle. Not cool. So I grabbed the tire on this side, and I was thinking it was a wheel hub assembly, which also shows that kind of a symptom. So if your wheel is starting to do that, also listen to it, because you can hear it. It'll sound like, you know, wah, 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 like you have walled out tires or something like that. Really, really rough tires, off-road tires. It's got a unique sound. Easy way to test that is kind of swerve a little bit if you're at a 30, 40 mile an hour speed and listen to it. And whenever you swerve, you'll hear that sound come and go. It'll wah, 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 wah. Well, it'll do that, and what you're doing is you're taking the load off that axle and off the bearings, and they can't make that sound. Once you put the weight back on the vehicle, it makes that sound again. I didn't have that. All I had was the wiggle on the steering wheel. Okay. So what else could cause that? Tie rod ends. on the other side, if the wheel hub assembly is bad, you grab the top of the wheel and you pull forward and backwards. So that's what I did on this one, and it's not doing the wiggle thing. But come over to the side, all right? That is not good. If I can wiggle that tire like that, that is not how it's supposed to be. It's this piece right here. This is a tie rod end right here. This is your tie rod right here. This is a tie rod end. And if I wiggle the tire, I don't know if you guys can see, say wiggle, 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 is not all this wiggling and motion. That's not supposed to happen. So that's causing my steering to act funny. I've already purchased the parts. I ordered upper control arms, which already have the upper ball joints pressed in, and I ordered new tie rod ends for the truck, so I'm going to replace those. Those actually should arrive by tomorrow. But anyway, that's why the truck is parked right now, and I'm trying to get everything all squared away, because in April is when my tags expire. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on these headlights, because that is our objective today. Alright, there's something else I wanted to add before I get started. I came out here the other day and I found another leak under the truck. And you see how it's wet on the board? Yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is power steering fluid. My power steering reservoir is now leaking. So now I got to change that part too. Hell, I got 216,000 miles on the truck. I think I've got my mileage out of it. I've got my money's worth out of this. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the installation really quick. Whenever you go to install these, the first thing you want to do is disconnect your negative. Alright, you pull this off so that whenever you go to disconnect your positive on the fuse block, because that's where you're going to use your power for your ballast, you're going to attach them there, and then your ground, you're going to want to use this screw here behind the actual box. I've got a screw here. This is what holds up the anti-flicker kit. So it's going to be mounted on the side here. But before you get into these two things, disconnect your negative, because if you don't, it'll reset your radio. Trust me, I know this from personal experience. And it'll, if you have a radio like mine, it'll take you like 20 to 30 minutes to reset that sucker. And if you have a system in your vehicle, what's going on, dude? If you got a system in your vehicle, it'll take a little longer.
Neighbor Steve.
Alright, so power, ground, disconnect ground first, and then I love his truck. That's a badass looking truck. Alright, so these are your HIDs. These are the bulbs. These are glass. Do not touch them. These ones here are considered bi-xenon. High beam, low beam, high beam, low beam. You get it? These things here, this is your anti-flicker kit. This is your ballast. You get two of them. You got one here, one here. These are going to be for 6,000K. Alright? Well, at least the HIDs that I bought for this truck are 6,000K. What do I mean by that? All right, so whenever you go to buy HID bulbs or HID headlights, you're going to want to have a temperature color. So stock colors, stock headlights are usually yellow, right? So that is 6,000 K. K stands for Kelvin, not 1,000, not thousand. So 4,000 K is yellow, 6,000 K is white, 8,000 K is blue, 10,000 K is green. No, it's purple. And then I think it's not 12 or 14,000 K is purple, or is it green? I think it's green. So the higher the number, the more illegal your colors get. So if you want to stay legal and you want to have good headlights, stick with 6,000 K. What do I mean by 6,000 K? Pure white is what I'm talking about. That is this. My fog lights are 6,000 K, pure white. Okay, these lights actually belong to ATV headlights and stuff. They're actually not supposed to be for your vehicle, but they work perfectly. They're just fantastic. I beat the heck out of them things, and they're still going. So anyway, that's the sequence of how you take things apart here. That's the equipment that I have to install, which is really simple. It looks really challenging, but it's not. First, you want to mount up your harness. Your ground is very important, guys. Big tip on these HIDs is you got to have a good solid ground. Make sure it's clean. Don't have any rust on there. Don't have any garbage. No paint. Make sure it's metal on metal, because these things require a lot of energy to operate. That's why they have a ballast. So make sure your ground is good. If you don't have a ground, you'll know it, because when you go to turn it on, you won't have headlights, or you'll have one. How do I know this? Experience. Make sure you have a good ground. Make sure you have a good power. And don't touch the bulbs, because if you do, it'll blow them. Those things, they get really hot. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and slap you guys onto the time lapse and get this installation done. Here we go. Also, a little tip while you have your terminal off: if you have this blue spongy stuff, that is corrosion, battery acid corrosion. So this battery was back in, this was manufactured in April of 2020. It is 2023, so probably one more year out of this battery before I have to change it. But yeah, if you get this stuff, you want to clean that up. I do have terminal cleaners, but if it's just a little bit on there, just clean it off. And do it this way with a wire brush. Don't use Coca-Cola. Please don't. Also clean the underside of that too. So make sure you clean your terminals, guys. The better the terminal, the better the connection. I tell you what, I got lucky with this one. So we can zoom in. All right. I did the pinning on this. Everything's all plugged in. You can see, watch this. See the light go on. That's the running lights. That's the headlight. You see the light bulb go in, then out. See it moving? That's high beam, low beam. That's your bi-xenon. That's what these are for. They move in and out. They're on a solenoid. My first chance of getting these was right. That's fantastic. I did blue, brown, then white, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match those and slide them in each one of these little slots here. Okay. All right. See down in there. There you go. Probably bring it up to the camera. There you go. All right. See the little slots up on the top? Yeah. That's where each one of those pins are going to go. So I'm going to do them one at a time since I know where this is located. But I know it's blue, brown, then white. You know what? I'll just pull them all out. It's okay. Come on. All right. I feel like they're all in. Give them a little bit of a tug. They don't go nowhere. And then we're in business. Take this, plug it in. You're supposed to hear an audible click. But like I said, I think the inside of this is going to need a little bit of modification like I did before. It's just a little bit, the tab is too thick in here. A little bit of a click, but that should work. So let's test it. That light should turn on. Okay. Yep, that's good. And then we have high beam, motion, perfect. That is what I'm after. All right, so I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side. All of this over here is ready to be put all together and put into the headlight, and then I can go ahead and install the other side. To finish the project for this evening, tighten up the ground on the battery. Negative on the battery, nice and snug. I got clean connections here. I got good connection for the positive. Good ground over here. This is mounted okay. I just kind of set the ballast up in there. It's all right. Everything is kind of sitting in there pretty comfortable. There really isn't much I can do with this. Truly, I tucked it behind the cooler and stuff, and everything in here works fine. I will move this ground later, but this is the only thing I can find right now, but I will move it much later. I don't have self-tapping screws, but as you guys are able to see, I have headlights and I am good to go. So yeah, that's pretty awesome.